Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go over my revamped Abyss Actor list. I haven't posted for a while because I really haven't changed up the list that drastically, took out a few cards here and there. But I was playtesting the Going First build for a long time because of the new support, and Going First is really good for Abyss Actors. Recently, in the past 2 months, 1 month, I've been playtesting with a Going Second build. It blind goes second game 1, and then game 2 you transform into a Going First deck, and then game 3, depending on how the game state's going, you can keep in your board breakers or keep in hand traps depending on the matchup. It all has to do with how the the slots in the side deck and the extra deck can kind of contribute to you transforming to heavy board breakers, to hand traps, to half and half, depending on what type of opponent you are versing. But I think that Abyss Actors, even if you win the dice roll and go first with this build, you can still create a really powerful board, even while having board breakers in your deck. So even if you have the blind going second deck, win the dice roll, if you think you kind of want to go first for that specific match for whatever reason, it's very easy to do that. With the main deck Abyss Actors, everything is really the same, except that I cut one of the new 4-star person. I found that I was never using her at all, so I kind of just took her out the build. You have 2 Madonnas, 2 superstars. I see some builds play testing with one superstar, and I kind of like that. But I did play test, and it felt cleaner not to constantly draw superstar, but I do like drawing superstar going second. And sometimes you need a superstar on the field and to pull it up into your scale to get that pendulum effect. So I feel like I like 2 the most. Of course, you run 3 Wild Hope, 3 Curtain Raiser, 2 Clowns. You have to run the 2 Clowns just so you have that ability to, when the Clown switches control, he pops a script on the field. And sometimes you just want to use the Clown's pendulum effect because it's a creature swap in the pen scale to switch a Clown on the field to preemptively pop one of your things, not relying on the field spell. I run 1 Sassy Rookie. I know a lot of builds cut Sassy Rookie, but I really don't know why. He's really great for stalling, but when Sassy Rookie is destroyed on the pendulum scale, he destroys a 4 lower monster your opponent controls, so he makes your 2-link kind of like a Dryden pop. A lot of the times I'll have, if I'm fully just locked into Abyss Actors, I'll have the 2-link, I'll have the script down, Abyss Playhouse up, and then I'll have Sassy Rookie in my field spell. That way I can destroy Sassy Rookie to pop a card on the field to do whatever I wanted. So it's really good versus sprites as well because they have their normal sprite card, and then you can pop it with Sassy Rookie. I think he's just very useful as a one-off. And also on the pen scale, he stops your Abyss Actor or actors from being destroyed. So if for some reason your opponent has like some type of destruction, like if you're afraid of Chimera, you can put him on your pen scale. That way you can protect your stuff. You run 3 extras because extra is really important for Abyss Actor. Is one of the best cards. Going second, it's a free special. It's going first, the full combo. And then 1 Funky Comedian. Funky Comedian is very, very cuttable. He is so that you can, if you're locked into Abyss Actors, beat over stuff that is over 2,500. If you're locked into Abyss Actors, it's hard to beat over things that can't be destroyed by battle. But with Funky Comedian, you can. So my deck is a 41 count, but you can just make it a 40 count by cutting Funky Comedian. Just all the people I play test with run very big monster heavy decks. Like if I was constantly fighting Sprite, I don't feel like I would need this, but I'm fighting versus like Branded and Punks and things like that. So it just is necessary to get over big people. 3 of the Dress Rehearsal. Now, because you go second, I actually don't run Opening Ceremony in the main. I run 2 Abyss Tainments because this is such a good going second card that even if you like normal summon Abyss Actor and attempt to Abyss Tainment one of the cards on the field, sometimes they can't stop it. Sometimes they have to waste their negate on it, and it leaves room for your board breakers to come in after that. But it's just a very solid card. And then I run 1 Abyss Tainment for recursion, and then 1 Dramatic Story. With the going second build, you can also pop Dramatic Story, because when Dramatic Story is popped, it non-target sends 2 cards on the field back to the hand, which is really great for board breaking. And then the one play house. These are all my main deck Abyss Actors. I tried to thin down the list as much as I can. You can thin down the list even more by cutting a Superstar, cutting a Comedian, and cutting the Sassy Rookie. But I really feel like the second star is really important, and Rookie is pretty crucial for going first and building a competent board. It gives you an extra pop, and sometimes that is what can just win you some games. Now with my tech options, my first tech is like a pendulum style tech. I love Chronograph. Chronograph is one of the most broken cards. Whenever I play test it and I get Chronograph in my hand, it just goes wild every game. We all know its effect that on the scale, it destroys itself, the special, the time gauges from the deck. Yes, that's a really good effect, but the major effect that I like is this other effect, that when a card is destroyed, you can special itself and another card from your hand. A lot of the times, I'll normal summon Abyss Actor, go to use my one of my board breaker cards, or use Abyss King. They'll negate it, destroy it, like with the Baron, and then you get to special summon Chronograph and another card from your hand, and if that card happens to be a Superstar, they can't respond with traps on the summon of this, and then Superstar can search another script. You can go for another king. There's just so many plays that you can go with Chronograph. Just being able to special cards from hand is really important. And going first, building a board that doesn't lock you into Abyss Actors does require you to normal and special a card. So you need Curtain Raiser, you need Chrono in order to grab a big board that is not specifically just Abyss Actors. But I find that a lot of times going second, Chronograph's ability to special itself, it just helps out so much. It's specialing Madonna. Like if you use a board breaker, they or evenly matched, they negate it. Then you get the special Chrono and special Madonna from your hand. Then you go to main phase 2, you activate Abyss King. They can't respond to it because you have a level 7 on the field. And then on resolution, you get the special with Madonna. If you've never tried out this card, I suggest trying it out. Continuing on with board breakers / special summoning, I have Fenrir. Yes, Fenrir is cringe, but he is a level 7, so it really helps your level 7 XE plays into the Odd Eyes Dragon. Also, if you're not locked under Abyss Actors or locked from Pendulum summoning Abyss Actors, if you Fenrir, search Fenrir, you can then special out that Fenrir via pen summon later on, so it's actually getting another body. So you special Fenrir, you can search another Fen. If they choose to interact with that, you can banish something on the field. If they choose to interact with that and negate that, you just got rid of like 2 disruptions for literally just special summoning a Fen. You can even special summon, I've done it before, you search Fen, I get the Fen, and somehow like they destroy my Fen or something like that. Like I'll normal summon, I'll activate Fen to search, and then like I'll go to battle phase, go Fen to attack, and then they'll like negate destroy him, and then I'll Chronograph to special summon the other Fenrir in the battle phase. I run the one Pankratops. If you're just blind going second, again with Abyss Actors, just getting a card 2 special is really nice to go for your 2 links. And also the destruction works with Chronograph. It also works with sometimes if you want to destroy your own stuff. I run 3 Dark Rulers, 2 triples, and 2 evenly matched. With this setup, when you go second, you have so much priority into other decks that look at how much board breakers you run, but some of your board breakers also are special summon and help you combo. So your Fenrir, your Pankratops, they're also trying to help you combo. If you can Dark Ruler them, Pankratops and Fenrir just become kind of like combo food. With the extra deck, 3 Hyper Directors. I don't know how people could play with 2. You really need 3. I've tried to. Every time I've played a game with 2, I run out. There's a really important combo for follow-up is like if you normal summon a card or you special summon Curtain Raiser, normal summon a card, link off for Hyper Director, and then get that card back into your hand before you go for the 2-link. That way you have a card for your scale just in case there's any disruption. Not doing that actually causes you to be weak. But that means that one Hyper Director is just used for a link climb at times. Not even a link climb, but like a recursion, because you link off for the Hyper Director, you mill the script to get this back to your hand just to be safer. The more cards you have in your hand, the better it is for pendulums, because you need to be able to get your scales and all that stuff. So sometimes I do that play, and that just means you're left with 2 Hyper Directors to activate. Sometimes I don't even do that play, and I use 3 Hyper Directors in a game. This deck it does burst off, but it actually is super grindy and can beat a lot of other decks in the grind game just because Hyper Director allows for so much consistency and recursion. Don't forget that Hyper Director can also pull from the extra deck. Now that we're running less Abyss Actors in our build because we're running more Board Breakers because we have the 2-link, feel free to use those extra deck instead of pulling from your main deck. Also, the opposite is true. If you're trying to mill your main deck, that way you can draw into Board Breakers or draw it later on into hand traps, pull from your main deck. That way the only cards left in your main deck are those Board Breakers. One last thing on the evenly matched. The reason I won evenly is I was running Lava Golem, and I feel like these are the same as Lava Golems. If you Lava Golem, you can't really pen summon out Lava Golem or anything like that, so sometimes you draw a Lava Golem and it's dead. This is really good on the first turn of the game. If not, it's kind of dead. But they are helpful versus back row where Lava Golem is not. So I really just like the 2 evenly. Another thing you can do is run the 2 level 7 Kaijus, because they can Kaiju over one thing, but then you can pen summon it out as a level 7 to help you go into XC plays. If I wasn't running this instead of Lava Golem, I think I would run the level 7 Kaiju, but I just like this because of back row decks and things like that. And I play test versus people who run a lot of back row, so I like the 2 evenlies. The 2 producers, you really never need 3. One, Beyond the Pendulum. Beyond the Pendulum is just super great. A lot of times when I don't have a good card to search with Beyond the Pendulum, that's why Chrono is really nice as well, because when you're comboing off, you can just search a chronograph to put on your scale, because then after you pen summon, you can pop him later on in order to special summon him, special summon the Time Gazer from your deck. So this is normally my Beyond the Pendulum search in order to be my high scale, which I feel like it always just comes in handy to have an extra body. IP, I run Gloomy. A lot of people I play versus, there's also Branded and stuff like that. And if he gets destroyed, he also just searches extras, which is full combo. You can cut him, but I kind of like running him. And then the new card that I thought was not good in this deck, but I started to play, is this card. When you XC your level 2s, your Abyss Actors go to the graveyard, so later on you can special summon like a superstar from the grave if you're really in a pinch. That really doesn't happen. But the reason that's in my deck is because of this card. This card is one of the most crazy Abyss Actor techs that you can have. This card solo wins games, and his effect to banish is not on Synchro Summon, it's on special. So if you special him and then he goes to the grave, but you can special him back out because he's a fiend, you can get his banish effect again. It is so easy to go into this card. It's like ridiculous how easy it is. If you have Madonna and then activate a script, you can get Comic Relief, and there is your 10 right there. If you have Madonna or Superstar and you have Chrono on your scale, you can pop it to summon Time Gazer, and there you go. There's the guy. Or if Chrono special summons, you can special summon any level 4, and there you go, a 4 and a 6, and there you go into the Chaos Angel. So Chrono is not only good for just extension, he helps you heavily go into Chaos Angel. But Abyss Actors, the mellow play into a script, into Comic Relief is so easy to do. That happens like all the time. And then you just go into a Chaos Angel. If you wanted to up this deck, I want to test out putting another Chaos Angel, because there's so many times when I have like the material to summon 2 full Chaos Angels, but like still have Abyss Actors and things like that in order to do things. I do like this, but I don't know. You could definitely cut this for a second Chaos Angel. I don't have a second one, so I don't know how it feels to run 2 Angels versus an Angel or that. This just makes it more generic. Once you summon the initial Angel, any 2 cards can get it back, so it makes it more flexible like that. But I don't know. I feel like 2 Angels, maybe 2 Angels and this would be good, and just cut the Dark Charmer so that we can get the other Chaos Angel, because I don't really summon Dark Charmer too much if it's not like a branded deck. But in branded matchups, this feels really crazy to go for. But yeah, you need to try this card. This card is like definitely an Abyss Actor staple at this point. And then because I have IP, I run the Goddess for going first. I run this, both Goddesses. I love Closed World. I've been a fan since day one. It's a Fiend, so it could be re-special summoned by the other idiot. But it's just non-targeted removal. When it summons, it negates the effects of all people, and it's a special summon negate. It is just such a great card for all of those reasons. I run Babushka because, you know, we're a level 4 deck at times. A lot of decks just lose to this. If you get D-Shifters, that's the play. Curtain Raiser into normal summon into Babushka. That's what you do. Does suck, and I don't like doing that, but if they're going to D-Shifter you, you got to have a response, and this is your response in Abyss Actors. Also, when you go first, you can totally get like a Mellow Madonna setup with a Babushka with the Playhouse, and then IP into Appaloosa, and then they can't even go to battle phase to attack Appaloosa because Babushka's putting everything into defense. So that is a cool play that is there as well. And then you have Odd Eyes and Vortex Dragon. Odd Eyes and Vortex, they are really crazy. Super hard to summon them before in the Abyss Actor build, but because you have the 2-link, because you don't really get locked that often now, because you have the new spell, and also because you have the Fenrir's, it's really easy to go into this. The reason I play my extra deck like this is when I play a game, I feel like I go into every single one of these options, and there's not a card that's just sitting in my extra deck dead. Every single one of these cards has seen play. Dark Charmer is the least played one, which I think that if you want, you can cut that for another Chaos Angel. And I think I'm going to do that to test it out, but I do like the Dark Charmer for, you know, the Brandon matchup. It just makes the Brandon matchup feel a little easier when you can just resummon their big-ass guy from the grave. The side deck. We blind go first, and then my side deck, we blind go second, and my side deck is for going first. You switch out the king for the ceremony, and then the other card you switch out, you have the 2 evenly matched. I like keeping the triples in because it's kind of a going first card. You switch the 2 evenly matched, 3 Dark Rulers, and then the 1 Pankratops. I actually leave in the cash going first because summoning it is just a body, and it helps you extend, and it searches another body. So these are normally the cards that I slide out, and you have a 6 slide card. But you can slide more. You can even slide, like, sometimes I slide, well, not sometimes, I do slide him out and things like that. So you have a 7 card slide, and then if you don't want as many Fens, you can have an 8 card slide. So it just depends on the matchup, and that's why I really think this Abyss Actor deck is flexible, because then game 2, you go second. It's like a dice roll kind of situation. You go second a lot. If I go second, I'd prefer to have the Fenrir's and the Dark Rulers and the evenly matches and just kind of blow them up and win the game. Game 2, if you lost game 1, you can choose to go first, or you can, you know, if you won game 1, you can just keep your deck the same, go second. So you switch out the ceremony and the Rise the Abyss King. Then in my side deck, you can change these depending on who you fight a lot. Now I have 3 nibs, which I don't think I would normally have 3 nibs if my playtest partners they can't play under nib a lot, but I feel like 2 nibs is definitely the way to go, at least 2 nibs. But this whole side deck is variance on your locals and how you play and what cards would be best for you. So I would have the 3 Nibs, then I have 2 Drolls. I have 2 Ash because they're just generic to slide, plus I hit Branded really heavily. 2 Bells, this is for, and also Ashes and Bells hit Runics. Bells hit Labyrinth. Then I have the Bystials. And then for my back row slot, I have the 2 Evenlies in the main, so I have an Evenly and a Duster. That way I can have a 5-card thing to hit back row deck. So versus versus Labyrinth, I would have Duster, double Evenlies with the 2 Bells, things like that. But this is a very flexible side deck. There are so many different cards you could put in. I was thinking of cutting the 2 Ashes and putting another Droll, another Bell, or cutting the 1 Nib and putting the 3rd Droll. It just really depends on who you're playing against. And that's kind of the beauty of this deck is when you go first and you draw that many cards, let's say I'm like going against Branded. If I slide in this versus Branded, right, and I draw 5 cards off the bat and I did my whole combo and thinned my deck, if I draw 1 or 2 of these on top of the board I have, it doesn't even matter if they Dark Ruler me if I get 2 of these cards, because Abyss Actors recur so much and these cards are so heavily able to stop that deck. That's really, really great. If you're going versus Cash and you do Drolls and Nibs, and if you draw 1 of those, you draw 5 cards because of the combo. If you draw 1 of these cards, it just really messes them up. Okay, that was the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. There are many ways you can build Abyss Actors now. I like this way a lot because I don't like drawing a card. The reason I decided to make this deck is because when I lost a dice roll and I went second and I would draw into an Ash, it just felt very terrible. So because of that, I actually switched it up like this. Another thing that you can do in the deck is you can, if you want to do like, if you're doing like a half-half build, like you can still run the board breakers, but then run like 3 Ashes and 2 Nibs, or like 3 Ashes, 2 Bells. You could put a Baron in the extra deck. That way you can go for the Synchro play to get a Baron. I had that in here for a long time, but not a long time, but like I was trying it out. I just never really went into Baron that much. And I didn't really like the hand traps, the small count of hand traps. If I was running a hand trap build for Abyss Actors, like I wasn't running board breakers, and I was running like 3 Ash and 2 Bells, and maybe like 2 Chills and like 2 Nibs, I would definitely run the Baron in the extra deck. So if you are with that going first build, think about running the Baron in the extra deck. But if anything, really think about running the Chaos Angel. He wins me so many games. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. I might post some combos for the deck in a little bit, but I just wanted to give you this deck list. The reason I don't post as much is because you don't need like an Abyss Actor update every month or something like that. I only feel like I kind of want to give an update when there's like big changes in the deck or things like that. And I feel like the Chaos Angel, with the Fenrir's in the main and all this like board breaker, it's like a new version, and it could be helpful for those players who have never played a going second Abyss Actor deck, because nowadays when I'm looking everywhere for Abyss Actor decks, I'm just seeing a lot of going first Abyss Actor decks, which are still really good, but I just wanted to give this option for people who wanted to play a going second build. Okay, thank you.